Hey, you should be live on YouTube and Channel 8.
Excellent. Welcome to tonight's Templeton Advisory Committee meeting, November 17th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. The Templeton Advisory Committee regular business meeting is being broadcasted live on TCTV Channel 8 and TCTV YouTube. Channel responses will be made to comments in the TCTV YouTube channels as time permits. The agenda and meeting material for the business meeting were posted www.mytowngovernment.org /01468 no later than 48 hours prior to the scheduled meeting in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts open meeting laws. The chair reserves the right to add to items or remove items from or to change the order of the agenda. However, the agenda is posted in advance to give the committee and the public time to review the agenda items and to ensure the meeting runs smooth within the allotted time frames. Okay, at this time, I'm going to call the meeting to order here again at 6:30. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To let the public know, all members have been appointed by the moderator, and all members have been sworn in within the last day or so, correct? Yes, excellent. At this time, we're going to talk about the meeting minutes of October 19th, 2022, to review and approve. For October 19th, 2022, do you guys get a chance to look at those?
Yes, I did.
Did you guys see any issues or comments, questions?
No, none.
Okay, I can entertain a motion at this time.
A motion to accept as presented.
I have a
Second.
motion, I have a second, thank you. Okay, I have a motion, second, any other discussion? Nope, I see no discussion. Mike?
Yes.
No?
Yes,
And I vote yes as well. I have to write things down, so bear with me, because obviously we don't have our recorder anymore, so it's up to me to make sure that this is done appropriately and accurately as possible. Okay, any public comments? This is the clean copy. Can you just get that? Any public comments? I don't see any public comments. Excellent. Let's go into correspondence. Thank you. I'll make sure that this gets uploaded to my town government. September 22 BBA from Pontbriand. And you guys get a chance to look at that.
Yes.
yes.
Any issues, comments, and then you need me to bring back or question either the accountant or Adam?
Yes, I do.
You do, excellent. What do you got?
My first comment, if you turn to page 11,
Page 11.
and then you'll see under ARPA services, ARPA fire utility truck. And I see nothing allocated and $69,000 expended. I think that may have been a grant, but
Which line was that? I'm sorry.
The fire utility truck.
be under ARPA services, the third line down.
I see it.
You'll see zero allocated and
Yep.
$69,000 spent. And as I said, I believe that may be a grant. Where money may have been expended before the grant went through.
Right.
Oh, I believe it's a timing issue more than anything else, but I just stood out to me as I went through the report.
I'll double check on that and get an answer.
And there's still $1.8 million in that unexpended.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's part of it.
Hanging out, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be probably using that most likely for the bridge probably, but we'll get more information on that. Anything else did you find, Bill?
I think most of my questions would have to do with the status.
Mm-hmm.
The status as one example, if you go to page 5, one of the bigger examples.
Mm-hmm.
6 lines down from the top,
The police vehicle?
police vehicle.
Yep.
And, you know, again, it's still out there. I think that was the vehicle that was approved at the spring town
was.
meeting, and it just seems like a long time has passed.
Allocated 50,000.
And again, my question would be as to the status. And then my final, but the other questions I said are status questions, but I do on page 6.
Yep.
Page 6. Community Preservation Fund.
Yes.
I knew the fund was large,
Mhm.
but I didn't think it was that large.
Yes.
And I know you have, very specific items that fund can be used, but
Yes.
I just, I think there should be more conversations about that.
Okay.
Like you're talking like a plan, a future plan.
Yes,
How are we gonna, how do they plan on expending? Not
exactly.
all, but.
Exactly. And the reason I bring that up is, last night I sat on the capital, the capital allocation committee, and
Right.
I know every year there's far more requests than the money that's available, but not too often do you see a chunk of money that large in a town budget. And I just think there needs to be a conversation about the possible uses of that
Okay.
money.
That's good. Yeah, it's $1.4 million. There's a substantial amount of money.
And finally, the final item, as I said, I have a few other items, but
Yep.
I don't want to be time consuming, but
No, it's okay.
another thing that popped out.
Mhm.
And I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking,
No, please nip
But-
away. Nip away.
but on page 4, there's a
Page 4.
page 4. 10 lines from the bottom.
The scholarship.
Scholarship, you'll
Yep.
see there's 45 cents left over. It's just,
Yes.
it seems like we're going to award the money, why is the money left over?
I don't think they can leave it like the account empty. I think, I'm not
Yeah,
sure, but I could double check on that.
yeah, I think it was probably the amount,
The amount of the
2765, and maybe the other amount is interest,
Yeah, possibly,
something like that.
possibly. And it should be expended because obviously this was from
last year.
but the kids that went to school in like September,
Yeah.
they had to show that most of them, they had to show that they went to school and they passed like their first semester before they would actually release the funds.
Yeah, so maybe interest accrues at
Probably.
that time.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are my questions, Mr. Chair.
Excellent. I'll get answers to those to you. Mike, did you have anything?
No. No. I agree with what Noel brought up, no.
Excellent. There was something I was looking at, I can't. We just talked about this. I think that was it. Thanks.
Four things, right?
What's that?
We just talked about four things.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get into those questions, but anything else that we can talk about on this BVM?
I'm all set.
Okay.
Sure.
Great. If not, I can entertain a motion to accept as read. And reviewed.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
No. I see none. Mike?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Excellent.
You know that last item, a motion from somebody.
Excuse me?
You know that last item, a motion from somebody. To accept the report.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make the motion to accept.
No, you said so moved, so that was it.
Okay,
We're good.
all right.
We're good.
I just want to make
Yep.
sure.
Then there was the June. Did you guys look at the June? I don't know why that's on here. This might have been a typo on my part. That was,
Stated
no, it wasn't in the
September 30th.
packet.
that's a typo. Sorry about that, gentlemen. That was my fault because I typed this.
Yeah, I looked at the date and it's even more recent.
Thank you. All right, so here we go. Obviously, since we got reappointed at the special fall town meeting, we need to reappoint positions, the chairman, vice chair, clerk, and also to the members of the capital improvement committee. I'll entertain any motions or appointments at this time.
I would move that John Caplis be the chair.
Second.
Wow. Geez, thanks, Mike. No. Second by Mike. Well, thank you very much. I accept. And we're gonna do the vice chair. I'll make a motion to appoint Nowell Francis as vice chair for the advisory committee.
I second.
Okay, I have a second. Any discussion?
I will accept it.
You will, excellent. Let's go back to my appointment. Because we had a motion and a second by Mike.
Yep.
And we had no little discussion because I did accept it. And Mike, how do you vote?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Now we did the motion for Mr. Francis for the vice chair and it was seconded by you, Mike?
Yes.
Yes. Mike, and any discussion? I see none. Mike, how do you vote?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Entertain a motion for the clerk.
I move to appoint Michael as clerk.
Okay, and I'll second that. Okay. No. John. Motion second. Mike, would you accept?
Yes.
Mike accepts. Any other discussion?
The only
Yes.
discussion I would offer for the public is, I think by keeping the officers the same, it gives stability and continuity to our advisory committee, and I think that's badly needed.
Yes, I agree. Mike, how do you vote?
No. Yes.
Too bad. No,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Well, to keep things the same, to keep the continuity, make a motion to appoint Nowell Francis as the advisory committee member for the capital improvements committee.
Second.
I have a motion by John, second by Mike. No, do you accept?
Yes, I accept.
Excellent. Any other discussion? Again, this keeps the continuity, which is good too for the committee. Mike, how do you vote?
Yes.
No?
Yes,
And I vote yes as well. Excellent. So. Okay, let's talk about the remaining of FY 23 meeting schedule. Right now, it's programmed for the last Thursday of each month here in this room at 6:30. If all possible, I mean, I'd like some discussion concerning that, because obviously a lot of us have meetings on Thursdays, and Wednesdays too, but I'd like to move the meeting if possible to the third Wednesday of the month. That will be between the select board's meetings. Obviously, there will be a caveat to that, because obviously if there's just an issue with the a select board meeting that had to be moved or adjusted, and we had to get moved or adjusted, that we have the ability to do so. But I would like to try to have some stability in having that third Wednesday between the Board of Selectmen's meeting. Same time, 6:30. What do you guys think?
I'm good with it.
I'm good
It-
with it.
It helps. It helps me.
Yeah, because you have your meetings.
It
on Thursdays, too.
deconflicts.
Yes.
My stuff.
Absolutely. I did check with Holly to see if that was even a possibility.
Yeah.
And she said it was, but again, the caveat that there was an issue for a rescheduling of a priority meeting that obviously we might be bumped. And I said, I think we would be okay with that, and we could just make it up as we go.
Don't trickle down. If this
right.
moves, it bumps and bumps.
Exactly.
Let's expect.
All right, so I'm gonna,
The only other comment, Mr. Chair, I would offer is perhaps the month before the Springtown meeting. Might want to meet twice, but I would leave that to the chair to determine, a day that's suitable for the board.
absolutely. Well, don't be, we also have a couple of joint meetings that come up as well during the course of the year with the select board, especially during finance time. So that way we're not saying the same thing 3, 4, 5 different times. We're all in the same room hearing the same information. So those joint boards will continue. Also, there's a joint board coming up in soon. I think it's January with the school committee. And
Yeah,
the
they
select
haven't
board.
set a date yet.
No, not yet. I think it's January though. They're coming close to it.
Yeah, in that, yeah. in
Yeah,
that
they just
frame.
sent out
They asked you for 3 different
Three
dates. I
you're
saw
right.
that.
Yes.
So,
so those meetings, if they interfere with our meeting, then we will discuss that as it comes. But I mean, to keep it the third Wednesday of each month, and then knowing the fact that, have some flexibility and some movability, based on other meetings that are coming up. I don't think I need a motion for that, but I just want like an agreement or understanding that.
Yeah, it's late January and early February.
Yeah,
The dates.
Yeah. It was like 3 separate days, but I don't think they selected one yet. They just did that. What do they call it? Not the where they have we used to select whatever date's best for you, then they actually come back and they see which date's the most common, and then they're gonna pick a date from there.
I think you picked a Tuesday. If
I think.
you know,
Didn't you pick that Tuesday too?
it was directed to the chair.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it wasn't directed to me.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so you usurped us.
I
and
did.
picked Tuesday.
I picked Tuesday. Sorry. Things happen for a reason, I guess.
Redefining usurping to
Thank you so much.
usurpers.
All right, so all in agreement. All in agreement. So I'll work that with TCTV. I'll make sure Holly has it in the book. So I'll get that done Monday, because obviously today's Thursday, right? Yeah, so Monday.
Now, Mr. Chair, I do
Yes.
have a question
Sure.
about the posting of the meetings and
Mhm.
the administrative. Now that justice is gone, has there been anybody? Or are there interviews taking place? to replace
Yes.
Justice?
I think there was 3 or 4 interviews that were taking place to replace him this week. I'm not sure what those results are yet.
Am I to understand that in the meantime, you're going to handle the posting issues? Okay.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'll be doing the minutes. I mean, the agenda of the minutes and the posting on my town government. So we're in compliance with the open meeting law.
I'll just give you my notes too, that way.
Sure.
Whatever you meant, you might miss something, I might miss something, so.
Vice versa. Yeah.
Put this together, we'll have a good capture of what
Excellent.
transpired.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Now-
I guess my main concern is, that the meetings are properly posted, and I
Yeah.
know when you have a change in people that
Yep.
something will fall through the cracks.
Are you gonna,
Not from us.
are you gonna move to make the next meeting on that third Wednesday?
Yes. It will take effect immediately.
So that would be December 21st, just so we know.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. As long as we're in agreement. Yep.
And what I'll do is I'll put the calendar together. Kind of like what Justice did. I have the outline for that, so I'll just put all the dates. That way it's a snapshot for everybody has the upfront dates going forward. And obviously, again, some things could be moved or will need to be moved based on the joint meetings that we're gonna have with either the select board or, like I said, the school committee. So. Any questions with that? Comments? Excellent. Old business. Discuss light and water pilot plan going forward. Obviously, I think it's in everybody's best interest, the town's best interest, to have some type of program that the light and water program provides to the community. But in saying so, I want to make sure that it's perfectly clear that people understand that it's not just about the dollars that come in. It's about where those dollars are going to go, as far as what I can see. Because this town has been in different positions over the course of its lifetime. And obviously, and now since we are back in a position where, we're somewhat financially stable, where we have money in our coffers. And we're not talking like a couple thousands of dollars. We're talking $1 million plus. So I think we're doing quite well financially. They're following the financial management policies. We're following through with what we do as far as monitoring the BVM, monitoring where the money goes, the utilization of dollars, percentage of usage over the course of the year. So we're pretty much all in keen with what's happening. So in saying so, I mean, I definitely want to come up with something that we can present to the select board, because obviously it shouldn't be us being the advisory committee to go to them and be like, hey, this is what we want. I mean, it really should be the select board. They're the policymakers. Now, can we get involved? I think we should. Should we have like discussions potentially with maybe the commissioners? I don't see that there'll be an issue to have, a conversation during like one of their meetings to say, hey, this is our idea. We're going to present it to the select board. I mean, what do you guys think? I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well,
I mean-
we would submit our recommendations.
Exactly.
They can take them or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I don't
Ultimately, it is-
want to hurt.
It is their responsibility.
It is. I mean, and I'm sure they got other pilots that they have to pay to, which I'm sure they are. I just think it's important for the town to, I mean, it's been a long time, and this town is kind of in a weird state, but I mean, it's in a better state than it has ever been. I would say, and since I don't even want to give time frames, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I mean, to have the bond rating we have, to have the borrowing power that we have, to have the capital assets that we have. I mean, we're just in a really better spot. Now, in saying so, that doesn't mean you can't go from hero to zero overnight. I mean, there's still a monitoring there. There's still things that we need to do every single day to monitor, making sure things are done the right way, and keeping the checks and balances going. And that's what we're here for other people. So I just think that we should come up with some plan, meaning like, say, X dollar, and it goes and then make a policy that goes to a certain thing, such as, I don't know, not just a new police car, but some type of maybe something that needs to be done every single year in the town. That's like a fund that can evolve. So whatever money we do get from pilot, it goes into this special fund and it stays there and it's used only for, certain things. Not
Like
taking money and going directly to the general fund. That's not what I want.
CPC funds.
Right, kind of like that.
Targeted. Make it a targeted fund.
Exactly. Make it for, buildings or grounds or, something to do with, because whatever dollars we get back, whatever dollars we get from pilot, it comes from the users. Which means it comes from the tax.
It should go back to them.
It should go back to them.
Or go back to benefit them.
Exactly. Such as, like I said, like land stuff or, new benches or, things that the town could use at different locations on town property. As long as it's in that type of policy, because again, policy is only as good as it's written, but I think it would be a good idea to not only come up with a dollar amount, but also come up with a plan for utilization of it. And then put that together and again, maybe have a conversation with the commissioners just to see what their thoughts are. I think nobody's done that. It's all been like talking around the circle, but nobody's
put pen to paper.
No, and nobody's gone to them like, hey, what do you guys think? And I can tell you they probably, because there's a lot of bad history and this town's been bleep, bleep, bleep for a long time. So, but we're not there now. And I think we're coming to a position or a place that I think these funds could be utilized for other areas, which will help the people, which will help
Get to
the
a point where
residents.
we're proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly. Yeah, why waste it when we don't have to? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
I do have several thoughts, Mr. Chair. First of all, I agree with your idea that we should meet with the light board and try to determine what their thinking is on this whole issue of pilot. Obviously, it's come up before, and it may have not had a very good outcome for everybody involved. And I certainly would want to have a good outcome. I think it's best for the light board, and it's best for municipal government, and most of all, it's best for us as individual taxpayers. I think as part of the process is that I think we need to find out just what amount of free cash that the light department generates, and that is a number I understand can fluctuate wildly from year to year. I've expressed that before.
Right.
And I think that hopefully they could help us determine an average of what the free cash may be. And the hard part is, and I think the other figure that needs to come up is that maybe the light board is not aware of is what is the exact amount of money each year that the town spends for billing, for example, and maybe for other things like police coverage and that's a figure that I don't think is definite yet. And also I think that perhaps we should look to the example of other municipal light departments. Sterling comes to mind. It's a town that's similar in size to Templeton. Their free cash may be similar, and the uses of their free cash, maybe there's some maybe there's some commonality there. And also, I also have never heard any discussion as to whether the Department of Public Utilities has guidelines for pilot monies or requirements for pilot monies. And then finally, I do like your idea, Mr. Chair, of the use of having a designated use year by year of pilot monies. Once that amount is determined, that's fair, fair for the municipal light department, fair for the town, fair for taxpayers. And having a definite designated use, I think that's very important.
Okay. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for hearing me out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike, you have anything there?
Yeah, like you said, designated funds is key. That way the money doesn't get taken and used for something that might not be in the best interest of the taxpayers. Like you said, like we discussed, it's their money. They're paying. So if we're gonna take it back and give it to them, we ought to give it to them in a manner that benefits. And benefits the entire town or the majority of the town, because you can never benefit everyone, but.
Right.
just what benefits the majority of the town? What would benefit the majority? And we definitely need to get the light commissioners' input to see that, we present a unified message to the board.
Okay. Make
Make sure that what they have in mind for usage and what we have in mind for usage is either the same or similar. So that, we're not presenting two totally different ideas. Where they say, hey, we want to use it for this, and we say, yeah, we want to use it for this, and they're on both ends of the spectrum, and it just doesn't help the Board of Selectmen make a decision.
That makes sense. Well, keep in mind, I mean, obviously, this is gonna be an ongoing conversation for some time. Just think of some ideas, where these funds potentially, could go. If something is, agreed upon between, the select board and the light commissioners. Again, we're just like the fulcrum. We're trying to, at least provide a pathway for everybody to be successful, to include, I mean, from the taxpayers, to the light commissioners, to the select board. So if we can provide that thorough way so they can have, positive contact and positive results, I think everybody's going to be happy.
I would agree.
I think everybody will be happy. All right, so we'll have more discussion on that. But I definitely, what I'll do is I'll see when their next meeting is. And I will see if I can get on the agenda, on their agenda. If anything, just do a meet and greet. I'm sure the people, the commissioners know who I am, but I would just like an initial meet and greet and at least go over like an overview of like what
Our intent is.
our intent is. And obviously, our intent is not to hurt anybody, especially that department, which is probably like one of the best run departments in town. And we definitely don't want to hurt that at all. No way. All right. Is that agreeable, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Okay, which rolls into new business, which is plan of town land usage and plan on money projections and usage. So basically, that's like a double thing, because obviously not, get away from power for a second. So the town has a new policy on land usage. I haven't read it in its entirety as of yet. And what the money projections are based on the land uses, because there's fees are involved. If you're outside, if you live outside of Templeton, you want to use Templeton land, then it should be. Then I think there's a fee to that. Same with like Gilman Waite. When the softball teams use that for tournaments and stuff like that, is there a fee approached with that land usage? And if so, what is that fee and where does those dollars go? Does it go back into Gilman Waite as the evolving fund that's projected, that's there based on the BVM? Or does it go back into the general fund? I'm not really sure. And I'm trying to figure that out. So I was going to turn this one to you, Nowell, for you to do some work if possible. If you can just double check on, number one, the land usage policy. And the funds that go along with that, and what funds they are,
The fee schedule.
and where they go. Because there was nothing on the BVM that talked about that. So obviously it's going someplace. I'm assuming it's a general, I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume anything because that just makes asses out of everybody. So I want to make sure we have a good grasp of this. And if so, is there a policy that stipulates where those funds go and is it identified?
There should be.
Of
I
course,
mean,
there should be.
if it's the use of town land, then the money should go back to maintaining town land. And if it's use of Gilman Waite, then the money should logically go back to the maintenance of Gilman Waite.
Yeah,
And that's the logical,
exactly.
you would think that's where it should go.
And again, and my thing is, I'm not sure. I can't. And I
Can't put a
would
finger
hope
on
that
it.
you have no
No.
issue with that.
I'll dig up the facts and report
Okay.
back to the board
Excellent.
next month.
Because I think that's important. Because again, it's going to go back to the community. It's whatever funds are are taken in, hopefully they go to where they need to go in order to come back to the community to, preserve the community. If it's the gazebo usage, or if it's given weight usage, or if it's any other, land usage in town. It should, like the craft fair or any other sanctioned event that people have to pay in order to do something, I would think that would go someplace. Okay.
Something like that would relieve some of the burden on the budget too.
Yeah, we have the amount of acres that we have the grounds department cutting with 2 full-time people. We did a survey, a study back in 2017, I believe. I believe it was 2017, and they came back that based on the land that we needed like 9 full-time people to cut the grass in town, 9, and we have 2. And then in the summertime, they hired 2 seasonal employees, which to help cut the grass and stuff like that. But it's crazy. You would figure some of those dollars should go back to where, maybe not so much people, because that's a whole different other asset, but at least for, making it better. If it's, buying, trees or plants, because we did take
Yeah,
a lot of trees down at the center of
We
town.
couldn't use those funds to generate people funds because you don't know what the funds are from year to year.
That's right.
You guarantee someone X amount of hours at X amount of salary. And if the
It won't
money,
work.
if it doesn't come in at the right schedule, now you're looking for money to pay the workers again.
That's
So
right.
it's almost detrimental.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
To make, our expression, to use stuff money for people money, it doesn't work that way.
No, it does not.
Well, maybe this is a possible use of the community preservation monies. Might be stretching the definition of the use. So I could look into that.
Yeah, they have a policy on that,
Yeah, they have schedule of what their money goes to.
like the drapes.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's there for. It's there for that preservation
Right.
of historical,
Historical preservation.
yes, which is huge because, and those guys and girls up there are doing an awesome job on that building. And the historical site itself is doing a great job. Which obviously, I think there's, as an add to, I think, they're doing an event coming up. I think it's December 4th, with the tree lighting thing up on the center of town. So that should be a good event. Any other discussion? Go to the committee. Anything you guys want to bring up?
We're good.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I
Good.
figured you would.
I've talked about, obviously, we met with Representative Zlotnick and, my concern, and I've voiced this many times, is I think that the relationship between municipal government and the state government is in some ways unfair for the town. And the basic problem is in Massachusetts, you have a top-down government.
Right.
I think the best example of that is the last legislative session. During informal session, legislature, without a roll call vote, they spent $3.5 billion. And I actually looked at all the items that the money was spent on. And I would say 99% of it was items that would have passed with roll call votes anyway. A lot of
Right.
money went to hospitals, a lot of money went to nursing homes.
Right.
But once again, the Edward Kennedy Institute got relief for their debt. And we're sitting on loads of debt and with no apparent path to relief. But in any event, I do have this. I don't know if you want to vote on it tonight. But I would like gentlemen to review it. we are an advisory committee, and this is a motion that is I'm not asking that it be voted on tonight, but I ask that you review this. But it's basically that the asking of the advisory committee ask the selectmen to draft letters to Representatives Lotnick and Senator Goby, and perhaps we can also do a letter, much like we did for the Main Street Bridge. But the item, the one and only item that I will talk about, because it's related to everything else, is that in 2008 and 2009, was the last time the Commonwealth of Massachusetts was really in financial difficulty. And at that time, they cut the local aid amount by 15%.
Right.
Which in a community this size and of the relative affluence of this community, it really was a devastating cut. And it took 10 years to restore that 15% cut, where the local aid was increased over a period of 10 years at 1.5% per year. So finally, in fiscal year 2019, the local aid amount was restored to the level it had been
In 09.
in 08-09.
Yep.
But if you look at an average rate of inflation of 2.5% over that 10-year period, that means that the shortfall in local aid during that 10-year period amounted to 25%. And that's really the amount today. Is the town is really underfunded in local aid by 25%. And that is really the amount of increased local aid that is needed to catch up with the rate of inflation. And it shows up. I think the way that this shows up is it shows up in big expenses. I think the fire department is a very good example. They need 3 major pieces of equipment at a cost of about $1.2 million. And if this money had been restored sooner, or if there was more local aid, the fire department would not have that need for big ticket items that they do today. So that's one way that shows up. Another way that shows up is with the road repaving. I mean, the town has made great progress in that, but realistically, 5 miles of road should be paved every year, each and every year, and that's if you take $500,000 per mile, that's $2.5 million. And again, that's where this lack of local aid shows up.
Yep.
So what I would ask tonight is if the two of you and also Cameron, if you could review this, and then maybe at the next meeting we could discuss and vote on whether or not to send 10 letters on the subject.
I can definitely do that.
Just
I'll put this on the next agenda, which will be December 21st. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Give me a clean one, thanks.
Oh, what's the current rate? What's the current amount of local aid?
Right now,
Yeah. What is their, what's their determined rate?
It fluctuates year to year. Actually, in the fiscal years since 2019, it's been pretty good. The state has added a lot of money. They've added a lot of money. Instead of like 1.5% increase, it's been in the neighborhood of 3 or 4%. So the state's done a good job.
But they're still
catch
behind,
up, but
behind.
we are probably behind. I mean, this is a figure kind of off the top of my head, but I don't think it's far off. Is that, we're probably a couple $1 million short where we would be if they had increased, the amount by 2.5% without cutting anything since 2009, and it shows up in many
So not
different
only do
ways.
they need to catch up, they need to maintain that
Yes,
inflationary rate over time.
yes, especially now with the rate of inflation, very high. And basically everything is off of that. The other items are basically off of that, first item. If the state's not willing to do that, well,
You
maybe,
can't do the other,
can't do the others, or maybe they should do the others instead of increasing local aid.
okay, great.
So if you could review it, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer it. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. You have anything, Mike?
No, I'm good.
Okay, and this, you're gonna see this again on December 21st. We'll go into that.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have some more answers to our questions and we can go through it again, but also,
I'm asking for a letter. That's basically what I'm asking is that, recommending to the selectmen, whether or not we should recommend to the select board, that they write a letter that incorporates some or all of the elements of this motion,
okay,
this draft motion.
I got you.
I like the last one.
I got that. I did too.
The prevailing wage.
Um,
Because that's a handcuff. That really does handcuff towns.
It does. People don't realize that, I mean, if they could just go up to, I mean, even 75% of even transportation for school busing would be huge for us. Anywho. No, we can discuss more of that later. I did want to bring up the fact that, the demo special revolving account that Governor Baker signed at.
Yep.
So that's already it's been sent out. You should have received it. Did you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. And also just so you guys are aware that, and the public, that I'm sure you guys watched the select board meeting as well last week. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, that they voted to demo 10 Pleasant Street, which has been a sewer for some time now, that for those folks in Baldwinville. So that building was voted by the select board to be demoed, which is great.
So they're putting it out to bid.
I'm sure, yep, I'm sure that's what they gotta do.
I wonder what the square foot bid amount will be.
That's a great question. I can't wait to see.
Well, that'll give us an idea of what that revolving fund really needs to look like.
Yeah, because now I think it's 150,000 and now based off this last town meeting,
Yes.
because we had 50,000 in there, then we just put 100,000 in there, so.
Yes. But I think the initial estimate for that building was 50,000, which is why that amount was set, but I really think it's going to be higher
Oh, definitely.
by.
I mean, if there's asbestos in there, the abatement alone is probably gonna be at least 30,000-40,000 alone. Depending on how much is in there. Any other discussion for the good of the committee? Thank you so much, Noel, for that. I really do appreciate it. And your work outside means a lot. Mike, you have anything?
No, John, I'm set.
Okay, member comments? No?
I'm done.
Okay, good. Mike, I'm good. Okay, excellent. And obviously, Mr. Foyt's was not reappointed. And I don't have any either. I want to thank everybody for joining me for tonight. Hopefully you've learned as much as I have. And I will be available via email. If you need anything, have questions, just let me know. Let the town know. We're opening positions all over the place, so please look at the town website and, please, we need volunteers out there to help this community grow. It takes a village to build a village. Again, that's all I have. I think motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? I see none. Mike?
Yes.
No?
Yes.